So, welcome back, guys, to the second episode of the Stealth Camping Alliance Chronicles. Today, I'm honoured and have the pleasure to be joined by Richard, aka Day Tripper, one of the members of the Worldwide Stealth Camping Alliance. So, I suppose we can start with telling us a little bit about yourself, Richard, with whatever you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah, sure. Yes. So
Please, thanks.
I've got I work in a very busy job like we all do, right? We've got busy lives, family lives, and I've got quite a stressful job. I work in London and manage some properties. And I've literally got people Monday to Friday calling me all the time, emails, just quite a lot of stress. I just found that I needed to start getting outdoors. At the start of 2020, I just started to go out walking every Saturday morning, and I
Right.
just started to find that that was some time I could have to myself and still be home for family by the afternoon. I can let go of all the stress and sort of get outdoors, just relax really. And I've
Mhm.
and I think it's because I grew up in the countryside in Shropshire. So
Right.
so I'm like a country boy, although I've lived in the city and had to work in the city, and I've lived in Hong Kong. I lived in Hong Kong for 8 years.
Oh,
So I
really?
worked in some of the biggest cities like Hong Kong, London.
How was it living then in Hong Kong?
Well, it's great because I went there before the handover. So I was there in 94 till 2001. So it's a long time ago. And
Right.
I went backpacking around the world, and didn't know where I was going to go. I ended up in Hong Kong. Thought I was going to, I was away for 8 months, but then I thought I'd be in Hong Kong 2 weeks. I met a friend and then managed to get a job in an office, which was ridiculous, an investment bank. I ended up staying there 8 years and got married.
Right.
So it's like a really life-changing time. Because I
Yeah,
worked for
yeah.
a New York bank, and there was like we're on the dealing floor with phones everywhere and phones ringing. So I enjoyed it, but it was like it's the sort of thing you can only do when you're in your like 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
And then after that, you think, well, you need to get a
The
more
long
sort of
haul.
stable sort of job.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's amazing, Richard. You have such an amazing adventurous background, even up to outside of the camping.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing and interesting. Um, have you always been into the outdoors, Richard, and into the camping, or has it just been, as you said, since 2020? Or how about when you were younger?
When I was about 14, I think me and a couple of mates, I remember we went cycling. I don't know how our parents let us do it at that age, but I remember one summer we said, could we go cycling around Wales together? And we were
Hmm.
14 years old, right? So
Hmm.
our parents said yes, and off we went. And we cycled through Snowdonia, and we were wild camping in fields and stuff.
Wow.
I didn't know what wild camping was, right? But so,
Yeah.
and we went all for one week, we went to, we got as far as Anglesey, and then
Right.
we had so little money, and I remember that we literally had one tin of beans left between us. That was
Right.
all to eat, and we were on a beach somewhere. And I remember that one night we camped, and then we said, "Well, that's it. We're going to have to cycle home tomorrow." And then we cycled 100 miles home. So I remember some adventures like that then, yes, but it was obviously it was few and far between. But that's why I think coming back to it now is almost like going back to those days.
Mm-hmm.
On my travels, like I said, when I traveled around Asia, years
Mm-hmm.
ago, we drove across Australia in a van.
Right.
So and
Right.
camped in the desert in the middle of nowhere. It was like being from England. It was like getting into the centre of Australia around Ayers Rock or around that area. You just go off the road into the dusty desert and park up for the night, and then you could see the stars, and the sky was amazing. And
Yeah.
but then the thought that I was like, probably 1,000 miles from anywhere on any side, and
Mm-hmm.
then back then in the 90s, no phone, right? Literally
Yeah.
no phone. So what?
Yeah.
What? If you got bitten by a brown snake or whatever they've got
Yeah.
there, you're done, right? But you don't think about it, I suppose.
You don't. You just like it's like even with the ticks, isn't it? Like, the
Yeah,
ticks that are in the long grass, like you just spray yourself when you go out and you check to make
yeah,
sure there's none on you, but you can't let that put you off the
exactly
whole
that. Yeah,
experience of going out. Like, it's nature.
but you're right. It shouldn't put you off. All this stuff is sort of you just make a way of dealing with it, and then you
Yeah.
sort of get on with it. So you just learn about it and try and put things in perspective. And I think a lot of the risks in the world perspective has gone out the window, especially in the
Yeah.
last 2 years. It's just like
Big
everything
time.
is sort of exaggerated, and
Yeah.
everyone's living in total fear, and
Yeah.
it's just been. And again, that was really, I think, what's got me doing stealth camping, I'd have to say as well, because it was a bit of a reaction to what was going on, and it was
Yeah.
like yeah, of course I follow the rules and everything else, and I don't want to cause any harm to anybody else, but at the end of the day, going camping somewhere isn't going to risk, I'm not in contact with anybody. And
Totally.
but it was like a reaction for me, that because I'm a great believer in freedom,
Oh, same
freedom,
here.
the right to choose
Mm-hmm.
what
Yeah.
you want to do, and
Yeah.
obviously not negatively impacting everybody else, but to be able to make your free choices in life,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and just do what you feel you need to do, and everybody should have that right.
Yeah.
And when those freedoms are taken away, I get really upset about it. And the reason I love stealth camping is because when you put that backpack on your back,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got your tent in there, your sleeping mat, your sleeping bag, a little bit of food, it's like I can go wherever I like now, and camp where I like, and just have a nice night in the woods or whatever. And it's just like getting that freedom back. And I think that,
Totally.
and that's really what the channel's been about, really. It's really been about pushing those boundaries a little bit. I mean, for me, those boundaries are different to somebody else. I mean, people do a lot more crazy things than me, but for me, it's been pushing myself.
Yeah, yourself. Yeah.
Firstly, I saw someone staying in the woods, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought, could I stay in the woods on my own? And to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, I was terrified, really. I thought,
Yeah.
can I stay in? But then I thought, what's there to be afraid of in the woods?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I stayed in the woods, and
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit scared, but once I'd done it, I could do it again. And I've sort of
Mm-hmm.
pushed. So I believe we need to face our fears
Mm-hmm.
head on.
Yeah.
You can't run away
Yeah.
from stuff.
Totally. Totally, Richard. I done the exact same thing. And the first
Yeah,
time I stayed up at the Hellfire Club, which is, as I said in the last podcast, the most haunted probably location in
yeah.
Ireland, like in Dublin. And anyway, we were brought up with mad stories on that place. But I was like, same as yourself. All our fears is in our own mind.
Yeah.
You do a good bit of hiking as well, Richard, don't you? I was looking there on your channel.
That's how it started, really, because I just started walking every Saturday, and then
Right,
I started doing long distance footpaths. So I did the
right,
Saxon Shore Way, that was 150 miles. I did the
right.
South Downs Way, that was 100 miles. The North Downs Way, 150 miles. And I sort of did them sort of every Saturday, doing like 10, 15 miles, and then picked up the next week. And
Fair
then
play to you, Richard.
that's how I got into the wild camping and stealth camping, because then I thought, well,
Wow.
why don't I do 2 days, and
Yeah,
then I
and
can camp
camp.
one night? And that was really how I got into stealth camping. It wasn't just going stealth camping. It was like I was hiking, camping at the side of the footpath, and doing the next day. For
Yeah,
me, what I really enjoy is, and if we talk about some of the videos later, but um,
yeah.
I like that feeling. Like when I did the office stealth camp, I I just like the feeling that I was going to the office. I like to try and I know, have it in the day to day as well of life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a stealth camp in life and work life. So I thought, how can I
Yeah,
combine the two? So I went to the office, and then I knew at the end of it in London, at the end of the day, I was going to stealth camp somewhere in London, and then go back to the office the next day, and nobody would know. And I'm back in the
yeah,
office. And so for me, that was like such an adventure. I really enjoyed, being in the office and sort of like knowing that I was going camping. And I also really loved the sort of excitement. I had no idea where I was going to spend the night. I hadn't scoped it out. I just had no idea where I'd end up. So
wow.
it was like so spontaneous. So,
Yeah,
and that's what I really enjoy. Really, I really enjoy the thought that you set off, you don't know where you're going, and you have to figure it out when you're there as to
yeah,
where's safe and where's not, and if not, keep going.
yeah,
And that's really why the stealth camping February challenge. I put in different challenges, but the one I put in was, it's a bit of an odd one, but it was like walking 2 hours north from your
no,
house,
yeah,
and then camping overnight. It can be within 2 hours, and it's not like set in stone, but it was just really, the idea is that you just have to find somewhere. I mean, you can scope it out if you're more comfortable, but you have to sort of think on your feet as to where you're going to stay.
yeah, yeah.
And then obviously you've got to make sure that's safe, and that everybody's environment is different. Like in Canada it's different, and I
Mm-hmm.
understand that, but what really excites me is just trying to find somewhere and then not really having it planned too much.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Because that's it different. Like I know myself with my own stealth camps, there's a lot of planning that goes into them.
Some people like to know exactly where to go, and that's great, you know. But I'm just saying, for me, it's like it's partly the excitement is those adventures when I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, that's why I'm really excited about this challenge coming up, because I sort of know that to go 2 hours north for me, I'm going to have to go over the River Thames somehow. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, yeah,
And so I've worked out I can get the ferry into Essex, but and then I've no clue where I'm going to go from there. But so that's going to I'm looking forward to that.
What about the shopping centre one, Richard?
Yeah, the shopping center one was that was so much fun. I mean, obviously, I had to be careful about security and stuff, but I just
Yeah,
thought, I mean, the funny thing is, like I said, my wife, she likes the busy town and shopping centers,
yeah.
and I like the countryside. So around that particular shopping center, there's loads of nice trees. So I just noticed that I said to my wife, "Okay, you go shopping for an hour, and I'll go scouting for a stealth camp
Lovely.
spot right around the
Yeah,
bushes." So I did scout that one out before, and I found this place by the lake. And then I just thought, wouldn't it be great just to go out there after work one night, and then put my hammock in the bushes, and then I could go into shopping center at night and get a burger or something, and then bring it back.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so it was again, it was sort of the idea of combining the stealth for the outdoors and then the day-to-day life. So
yeah,
it has a bit of the both. So it's like you're camping in the bushes in a hammock, and next minute you're walking around Five Guys. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's really
yeah,
weird. And I'm going through the car park, and I know I'm just go. And of course, nobody has a clue you're camping in the bush,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It
yeah.
was so much fun. I loved it.
Brilliant, brilliant. And I
Yeah,
was like, oh my God, I need to do that one day. That would be amazing to go and get
but
something handed to you, huh?
my my mother-in-law, she's in Taiwan. She watches the videos, and of course,
Right.
she's terrified when she sees my video. She says, "You got to stop him going out. It's so dangerous." And then says, "What's going to happen to him next?" and all this stuff. And but she watched it, and then Joy said, "Well, he's old enough, to make his own decisions."
Yeah,
But then she said, I couldn't believe she said this. She said, "Well, if anything happens to him and he's gone, at least he's gone doing what he loves."
totally. At least you are enjoying yourself.
I'm not sure if that was good or bad, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it sounds a bit like an Irish way to look at things, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth.
Actually, if you follow the basic rules, I don't think it's dangerous at
Oh,
all.
it's not. Well,
And
like,
because it's more dangerous walking around London, certain areas of London.
totally. I
And
totally agree with you.
and that brings me on to my probably my most dangerous stealth camp was when I did the probably doesn't show in the video, but I did the 23 mile commute to the office. And so that was an idea that I left. I was working at home, so 5:30 p.m. finished work, then I put my backpack on, and then set off to commute for the next day to the office. So I had to
Right.
walk 23 miles through London, knowing that I was going to have to camp somewhere in the east end of London, which is more dangerous than
That's,
the west side.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
didn't know where I was going to be. And so I was walking through the night until about midnight. And then I got to Greenwich, I got to Blackheath Common. And
right.
so I just put my bivy bag in the bush, and it was just traffic was going by, and then it was pretty dodgy around there. And
Yeah,
then I looked up at one point, and there was some guy going past, and I think they were drug dealers, but I was tucked up in like a willow tree bush, uh, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Fair play to you, Richard.
but then in the morning, obviously I didn't sleep that well, but I just got up at 5 and then continued another 4 hours, and I got to the office bang on 9.
Fair, fair play to you.
So that was
Decent
from
in
that.
London.
Yeah, I think that
Jesus.
was the riskiest one actually.
Yeah, I'd say so, Richard. That's like me going out
And
to a rough area here. Oh God, that's gas, Richard. I'm glad that you are all right though, in all fairness, like, because I know how like dangerous the east end of London can be. Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean? It's yeah, big
again,
time.
again, I wouldn't. I don't think I'll do it again.
Yeah,
But who knows? But at least I've done it, and I'm
Yeah,
alive to tell the story, right? So
totally. You stealth camp in the east end of London in a willow tree and survived it. Wow, deadly. That's amazing, Richard.
Hi everyone, so welcome to the Day Tripper 1000 subscriber thank you giveaway. So thank you for entering the competition. I've had a number of entries. So the answer to the question was, how many times did I say ominous and how many times did I say precarious on the abandoned sea fort video? Well, the answer is 2 ominous and 6 times precarious. I've got 8 correct answers here. I've got Ida Dwarven Ranger. I've got the Cumbrian Woodsman. I've got Big Ears Bridge. I've got Rambling Remedies, Keith Chapman, Randa Mahatu, Michaela Watkins and Owen Outdoors. Each of these entries was correct. They either said the number 8 or 2 ominous, 6 precarious. So I'm going to fold these up and put them in the Day Tripper hat and then draw the winner. That's it, so they're all in the hat. I'm going to give them a shake around, I'm not going to look. So I'm giving them a shake around, I'm not looking. And I'm going to draw one out for the £50 voucher. Okay, I've got one now. Here it is. Here is the winner of the £50 voucher. And it is Big Ears Bridge. Big Ears Bridge is the winner of the competition. Big Ears Bridge, congratulations, you win the £50 Amazon electronic voucher. So Big Ears, send me your email address and I'll get that set up for you. I'll send the electronic voucher and then you can buy what you need for your next trip. So once again, thanks everyone for taking part in this giveaway, and thanks so much, very much for being part of the channel. I look forward to sharing more adventures. Stealth Camping Alliance February Challenge is coming soon, so that'll be next weekend. So I'm looking forward to sharing that video with you as well. So thanks again for watching this time, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.